Those familiar with Troy University's campus may recognize the statue behind me, as it has been sitting outside of Hawkins Hall for the past 2 years. What people may not realize is the story behind the statue. 64 years ago at this very spot, Rosa Parks would board a bus on which she refused to give up her seat, making history and sparking change. And one thing is certain, whether you are playing in the game, spectating, or acting as a buddy, everyone had a ball. The AACSB accreditation marks a high point of honor not only for the Sorrell College of Business, but for Troy University as a whole, as less than 1,000 colleges nationally hold this distinction. When residents of Rushing Hall walk down Demetria's hallway, they might be concerned about the woman crouching outside her door. However, if they choose to investigate farther and step on the Step Here pad, they're in for a spooky surprise. The second annual Rosa Parks Day saw a life-size bronze statue to civil rights icon Rosa Parks unveiled in downtown Montgomery Sunday afternoon, 64 years to the day of the arrest, which helped bring about the Montgomery bus boycott. 64 years ago at this very spot, Rosa Parks would board a bus on which she refused to give up her seat, making history and sparking change. The statue honors Mrs. Parks' bravery, and 4 historic markers at the foot of the statue honor the plaintiffs in the landmark Browder v. Gale lawsuit, which challenged bus segregation laws.
It finally shows what Montgomery and the state of Alabama have acknowledged before, but now are acknowledging in a different way by allowing people to understand the significance of what Mrs. Parks did.
The memorial was erected in partnership with the City of Montgomery, the Alabama Department of Tourism, and the Rosa Parks Museum, and those involved in the process say it took many months of thought and planning.
The preparation was done with an inordinate amount of detail. It was done in a way to truly honor Mrs. Parks. It was done in a way with a first-class approach.
We had images of Mrs. Parks, and we researched the clothing she was wearing that day, her hairstyle even. There was a lot of research in the process as well.
In addition to honoring Mrs. Parks, the statue also serves as a way to educate future generations on the historical significance of the movement brought about by the seamstress.
We hope that visitors to Montgomery will see the statue and get a full narrative of the story of Mrs. Parks and her arrest.
The events honoring the icon did not end at the statue unveiling, as just this morning the Rosa Parks Museum offered complimentary admission to all visitors. In Montgomery, Kerissa Justice, Trojan Vision News. On September 9th, Troy University suspended the Eta Phi chapter of Sigma Chi fraternity amid an investigation of alleged hazing incidents that occurred off campus. No further details were released at the time. However, this morning a press conference was held to discuss the conclusions of the investigation.
There were some findings there that concern not only the university but the national fraternity that are not consistent with the policies of the university or with the policies of the fraternity. There were sanctions taken against the chapter to include the extension of their suspension through at least the remainder of fall semester. Not only the new members, but the existing members will go through this. It's a tiered program with Sigma Chi specifically, where they go through and they basically re-educate them as to the values and the standards of Sigma Chi. There are some public or community service type activities that we expect them to participate in. But the main thing is the education program and trying to change the culture that apparently has existed in that particular fraternity.
Reeves tells us that the 7 brothers who were identified as participants in the hazing incident were expelled from the national organization indefinitely, and he believes this sends a strong message to the student body.
Hazing will not be tolerated. It's not only against policy, it's against the law. And it's not something we're going to tolerate, and if we find out about it, we're going to deal with it.
In addition to the repercussions taken by the university, multiple steps were also taken to provide aid to the 8 victims.
We've offered, if any of them need to work through our counseling center or any other, help, we've tried to help them in any way we can.
Sigma Chi will be reevaluated by both Troy and the National Sigma Chi organization at the end of the fall semester to determine if they will return to active status in the spring or if their suspension will be elongated. Kerissa Justice, Trojan Vision News. Troy University, in partnership with the Alabama World Affairs Council, hosted the NATO conference on the Troy University Montgomery campus Saturday morning. NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a military alliance between 29 North American and European countries, had its 70th anniversary just earlier this year. And this conference gave an opportunity to look back and reflect on the past 7 decades of the alliance.
It's really a strategic look at where the alliance has been, where is it now, and what does the future hold for it. And we've got people from all over. We have NATO member nations, we have people from Air University, we have students, we have civilians. It's just a great crowd.
And one of those panelists talked about what his discussion was focused on.
Overall concept of what hybrid warfare is as a term that it's kind of evolved since about a decade ago when it was kind of first really picking up speed, and then how it's evolved since the annexation of Crimea by Russia, and what NATO's response is going to be to that.
And Schnaufer believes the NATO conference is a wonderful opportunity to discuss topics of complex nature.
Discussion is the only way to really hash them all out. I mean, one person sitting in a room reading a book is not going to be able to solve these type of problems. They're very technical as well. So you need people who understand policy, but also understand kind of the back workings of what a cyber attack looks like within the computer systems.
And although the alliance began 70 years ago, Gavan believes it is still relevant today.
The alliance has continued to adapt, but one of the important ways that it continues to adapt is by conversations like this, where people can get together and talk about the relevance and what NATO can do to meet that. New times demand new strategies, and those are being discussed here.
The World Affairs Council's next event will be a discussion on trade wars and the impact of tariffs. In Montgomery, Kerissa Justice, Troy, Trojan Vision News. Many children might dream of playing on a college baseball field, and Monday night the Troy University baseball and softball teams made that dream come true for many children with their participation as buddies for the opening night of the Miracle League's season.
So it's our second year of having the Miracle League's opening night right here at Real Pace Field, and it's really a fun event. It's a chance for us to have the Miracle League teams come here, play on a college baseball field, and our Troy baseball and softball players are serving there as buddies. It's a pretty unique experience to have a chance to host this kind of game here at Troy.
The weeks leading up to the game were full of excitement, not only for the Miracle League teams, but also for the baseball and softball teams, as they were able to give back and raise awareness for the Miracle League organization. And one thing is certain, whether you are playing in the game, spectating, or acting as a buddy, everyone had a ball.
For the kids, I mean, they've been talking about it for weeks now. It's funny because Austin and Cody are two of the Miracle League players here. They come to every single one of our baseball and softball games out here, and ever since we announced opening night a few weeks ago, they've been telling me every single game they come to, hey, tell everybody to come out to our game here tonight. So for us, it's an exciting chance just to give back to our community, but for these kids, this is a memory they're going to keep for years to come, and it's something that they circle on their calendars. They couldn't wait to get a chance to come and play in front of a great crowd out here tonight.
The Miracle League serves many residents of Pike County, and George says this organization provides a unique experience for all those who participate.
It's really a unique combination of children might have autism, those might have Down syndrome, other ones are in wheelchairs. Really, anybody has a chance to play as part of the Miracle League, and for us, it gives us a chance to raise a little bit of awareness about this league and what they do for our community here.
And if you would like to show support for the Miracle League during the remainder of their season, you can go out to Troy Parks and Rec Monday and Thursday nights to watch their games, or organizations can sign up to volunteer as buddies. At Riddle Pace Field, Kerissa Justice, Troy, Trojan Vision News.